Good morning, everyone. Now, I am definitely hoping that you can all hear me clearly. I have got the producer mic on, so it's the usual one that I used to use. I am playing with a few buttons. I've got Be Live going at the same time, and that is a separate avenue. Let me just go over here. I've got to take some things off. Um, Hold on. The B.Live is going to just my profile. So pressing the buttons, I'm trying things out again, obviously. Now, I've just got to find where the heck I am on the B.Live, because what I want is the cameras and that happening. That's better. So, if anyone's on the on the profile, I hope that you can see me. I'm hoping that the comments come through. What I have here is a hello from a good morning from Kerry Ann, and they are two separate feeds too, by the way. The cam isn't going into it. So, good morning to Kerry Ann. Good morning to Sarah. Lovely to have you here as well, and Michaela. And you guys are all on the Rosboundy page or Might on TV or YouTube when you can see your comments coming up on the screen. And ready for the Ros News. Thank you, Michaela. That's lovely. And here we go. There's also going to be a little mini weather report coming in a minute. So, absolutely, Sandra, we're all going to have a fabulous day. Believe it and make it real. It is the intentions, isn't it? Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that. Definitely love that as a starter. Good one. Thank you. And Michaela with those beautiful emojis. And yes, you can hear. Good. That's wonderful. I don't know whether anyone is on the profile yet. And Kim, good morning to you as well. So you're on your way to work. Lovely. I like how the emojis can be such a succinct way of sending a message at times, can't they? And a yay. Now, as far as the little mini weather report, it is sun shining outside, but it's jolly freezing inside. My hands are really, really cold. I haven't as yet put a heater on because I just got into wanting to get in here and doing my live stream since I missed out yesterday. So there you go. Had a wonderful day yesterday though. It was cold at the beach at Willunga or Dinga, but it was still beautiful inside. The Star of Greece is an absolutely wonderful restaurant. Really enjoyed it, and it was a beautiful lunch as far as the food goes. And the atmosphere, like, it's just nice. It really is something that's so calming watching waves when you're warm inside a room, isn't it? And Michaela, you're saying it's brr, brr. How many of you can do that rolling tongue? I know it's something that not everyone can. Yay, and on the B Live, we do have Nat. Now, those on the eCam places won't see Nat's comment here. Morning, Roz. Hope you had a lovely day yesterday. Absolutely did. Because these two are today split into separate streams. I wanted to try it out that way. So thank you so much for being patient with the way I like to press the buttons. So we're going to go over to the cards now. So an introduction to those who don't know me. I'm Ros Boundy, Psychic Medium, and I'm bringing a daily Lenormand card spread reading. It's usually daily. I missed out yesterday, and sometimes when I'm crook or something really extraordinary is needing to shift, as far as that goes, we know. Things happen. So had a lovely day yesterday. We're here today, and it'll continue as daily, and it is a general card spread reading. So you yourself do need to put some of your own interpretation into this in context of what your life circumstances and environment is. You know best how your life is progressing. Take the messages that Spirit's giving to you from this layout, from these cards that have been shared with us. And I do believe definitely it's from Spirit. So here we go. Okay, right. And we've got a newbie. I don't think I've seen you, Abby, over that. Thank you for joining from the UK. I recognise the face, I think, from from a group that I'm in. Lovely to have you here, Avalon, isn't it? Anyway, let's continue. Lovely to see you there, Abby. Now, what we've got is, as you know, I like to try different decks of the Lenormand. This is the Fairy Tale Lenormand deck that I'm using for those who haven't seen it before. It comes in a tin. I'll now place it aside a bit, and we start with an owl card. So here we go. Its health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. And I'm going to try and get that to focus properly. There we go. Beautiful, and that's from a Buddhist teaching. Let's go to the cards themselves. So I will wind that up a bit with focus. Let's see how well that goes. And it's interesting doing two different sets, I can tell you, two different live streams. The Be Live doesn't have a zoom in feature that I can see. So we'll just have to go with the flow with it, won't we? So what we have is the fan spread again in how I, whoops, that went funny. I went to click it so it did zoom. Shifting the focus here. Hold on a sec. Going for a little bit of a ride, isn't it? There we go. So we've got the mice card with this fan spread that I've been using over the last few weeks, or is it months now? I can't remember. I'm wanting to learn more about the stories behind the Fairy Tale Lenormand. So that's why I'm using their own spread that's called a fan spread. And what it is the mice and the child, like this is the stem of the fan that you would normally hold on to. So this is the basis of what we're looking at today, being supported by the heart, the child, and the bear card, if you can imagine that in a fan. Okay, so the mice is that basis of each of these supporting it. Okay, so in context of health is the best, being what I figure is the overall of an undercurrent for the day, subliminal with the health and relationship. We're starting mice. So we'll read this one first. And for those of you who've been following along already with this style of reading, you know that I'm reading from the guidebook, which is this little one. And that's to get the gist of what's the fairy tale that these are based on. It sort of is like the regular, the traditional Lenormand, but in a different way, the twist with being a fairy tale basis. So the keywords are the first thing I'll mention, and that is for the mice, it is worry, anxiety, theft, and damages. So it's things that are actually concerning us. And as the basis, look, there is plenty here. The mice are worrying it and probably not asking permission to eat from this plenty or, that type of thing. And they are in those hidden places and spaces, not revealing themselves. So this is where things are going to be revealed that need to be dealt with. And we're looking at this in the context of those keywords, worry, anxiety, theft, damages. In the fairy tales, mice and rats are pests. In a famous poem from Robert Browning, rats nearly destroy an entire town. Here we see the mice of Hamelin, who, along with the rats, crept into every nook and cranny they could. Their presence created a situation that required an expert. So that expert was the Pied Piper, but the town stole from the piper. As the saying goes, you must pay the piper. The Pied Piper had to resort to a theft of his own. He stole the children of Hamelin, playing them a tune on the same flute he used to get rid of the mice. The adults were riddled with worry for their family, so they paid the piper's price. When you see the mice card, remember that story. Damages and losses come with this card, including the high potential for theft. Now, this can be an awareness. It could be something that is actually a factual happening in your day to day. Be aware of, look for possibly that there might be some losses or theft or something being snuck away with type of thing, which is a theft, of course. It brings to mind sometimes the instances where my kids had raided my purse. It can be as subliminal as that. You're just not totally aware of it. So mice chew and gnaw, causing worry and anxiety, and this is more the emotional level. So we can feel into what is all aspects of our life. It's not just the physical, it can be the emotional, and it can be that spiritual side. So it reminds you, this card, having the mice here, and it's our basis, to be vigilant for someone that may be out to take what is yours, whether it's intended in a negative or a positive way. Look, who knows? You know. Tap into that energy of it. So be aware of the stress that might be around you as well because of that anxiety. So it is bringing to our awareness things that are going to need to change, isn't it? Or open up discussion about various things. Here we have now the first supporting card, 24, which is the heart card, the next one in line, as it might be. So, oh, excuse me. I'm just putting up. Good morning, Sharon. How are you, Shaz? I bet you're lying in bed. It's so cold too. As we're bringing that is from the heart. The heart is keywords of love, passion, and attraction. So the story around this one is in the Bulgarian story of Cinderella, and it's called the Pepeljashka. I'm still hoping I'm pronouncing that one. The handsome prince sees a lovely young woman in a beautiful dress in church. Not knowing she is Pepeljashka, is a mistreated stepdaughter. He's fascinated by her. He sees her 3 times, then goes looking for her with her lost shoe. The attraction between the two was instant, but the connection didn't come so easily. Lucky for you when a heart shows up. A lover may be close at hand, or especially if a card for another person's there, which we have a child and the bear. So there is people in this reading. And we've got Shaz is up and having your coffee. Wonderful. So let's take this to mean the relationships that are around us. And I'm enjoying my coffee too. Oh, just needed that sip. Thank you for the reminder. So from this, what we're looking at is it possibly is a way that something is pointing to someone that you're passionate about or something. So that's what we're looking at is love and passion, that type of thing. So our Pepeljashka, she has a happily ever after because her prince didn't give up. So you must seek your own love by leaving your heart's door open. So for those looking for romantic relationship, or just improving what is the love you hold for others around you. It's inviting us to be more open around what we see, what we're receiving too. What we see, why did that come in? Anyway, we'll learn that later. So I think that would be all from that card at the moment. Next, we are going to the child. And especially since the child is in line with what is the mice card, I'll just put it there connecting the two in that more direct manner. And just finding the page. The child, obviously, as keywords, is child, children, and something new. So it's generally a positive card. So this helps us with supporting the mice card that things are going to be brought out into the open and revealed, because that's what I'm feeling right now. Things will be shown that you need to be having a awareness about. Now, being those keywords, the child is generally a positive card. In the Grimm brothers' tale of Hansel and Gretel, this one is referring to. So Hansel saves his sister twice from their mother's treachery, but Gretel is the one to save Hansel from the witch. She learned something new while on her adventures with her brother. So when the child shows up, look for something new coming to your life. It could even be a child if the other cards are indicators of fertility. Child predicts that you may also meet a person who likes to be in charge of things. So, like that toddler we've all met, the child can be a bit bossy at times. Let the child also advise you on ways to bring a more childlike mindset to a problem with new ideas, a fresh approach. sometimes you need to look at the issue with a fresh pair of eyes. And I think that is so true with this, and seeing it's not always a theft as far as with the mice goes. It can indicate an abundance of a different sort. Um, Now, Sandra, I was going to say Sandra, sorry, Sandra. Here we go with your comments. Sometimes instead of holding on so tightly, we could share with others and then all benefit. Yes, open heart and open, well, mind too, open eyes. All aspects of our senses, really, isn't it? Thanks for that one, Sandra. So we're going to move on now to the bear in connection with our reading, and that is card 15. We have had the bear recently, so the keywords around this, it is a continuation of the child aspect into bear. The keywords are protector, strength, maternal instinct, and authority. So Rose Red and Snow White's mother allows a bear into their home. She's a strong woman, so has no fear of the bear. The girls play with the bear, who in turn becomes their friend and protector. The two girls encounter an ungrateful dwarf who has stolen the bear's treasures. They see the bear kill the dwarf, but then the bear shapeshifts into a handsome prince. This is we don't always see what is the obvious, and that difference and change that can happen in an instant, isn't it? Because Snow and Rose kept his secret, he marries Snow and his brother marries Rose. It was the mother's initial instinct to trust the bear that led the girls to their new lives. So this reminds us that maternal instinct is strong. Due to her allowing the bear in, his friendship to the girls brought them a fierce guardian and eventually loving husbands. The bear card reminds us of the strength of a mother's instinct and heart. Let your own intuition as a parent stand you in good stead in times of trouble. So if you're not a parent, look to those who served as guardians in your life. This card can also point towards jealousy and envy if there is other cards that are near it. Look, it's not about that in my view, but feel into what the message is bringing to you. Someone may have the heart of the greedy dwarf. Consider the bear a cautionary tale, but it is in context, I feel, with what we have here as a complete reading. Here we have that strength of the loving mother, that energy that is going to support us as we're bringing that childlike awareness, bringing that loving energy into what may be a difficult situation with relationships in our day to day, that could be that feeling of someone stealing energy from me, or it could be possessions, but it feels to me more like it's on that relationship side and a more emotional base. But again, pick up what you feel these messages are for you from these cards today. So I'm going back to that and over on the Be Live, switching it round again. And let's see, hang on. Something here is doing a funny on me. If you hold on, something is not working on the Be Live. Now that's interesting. Okay, I'll continue on where I am with my eCam. I know that's doing it. There was a switch not working on my Be Live. It could purely be the technology. I'm stretching it too far. You know me and buttons. Thank you so much for your patience as I do continue to test this stuff a lot. It's wonderful to be here. And I shall bring up, thank you, beautiful, wishing all a beautiful, blessed day with love and joy. And that's from Sarah. Thank you so much for being here, each and every one of you. You know how much I do appreciate you. Now, I have put the links in where I can as far as to the psychic.online if you want more detailed individual readings. And thank you from Kerry Ann. Have a lovely day to you all, and beautiful emojis from Michaela. I shall leave it there. I usually try to keep these to the 15 minutes. I started off once upon a time wanting them to be 10 minutes. Well, that didn't quite work. It stretched out to 15. Now we've been for 20 minutes. Thank you so much for your time. Keep being the best you that you can be, and namaste until tomorrow. Bye for now.